Real estate agents, what if I told you you can generate endless amount of leads on a daily consistent basis at $6 per lead without having to post every day, strive, struggle, stress, hoping somebody actually checks and opens that mailer? Well, in this episode, we're breaking down how top realtors are using this system and generating leads as low as $6. Let's get into it. Hey, what's up everybody? It's Renee here with Neon Tiger Media, helping businesses, entrepreneurs navigate the cold digital world. Don't get lost in the sauce, my friends. Real estate agents are some of the hardest working pros out there. Literally, I feel like in any industry, there's nobody like a real estate agent. You guys can literally grow a 7-figure biz from the ground up with full momentum, you doing everything and not having to pay other people. However, you guys do tend to do a lot of old methods when it comes to advertising. I've seen the pizza magnets, I've seen getting your face on a shopping cart, sending out mailers. And while building a brand is actually valuable and there's a purpose in that and there's a time for that, a lot of those methods are ancient, they're outdated, you can't track, and you can't build consistency and scale a business from that. That's something that later along the way, something that, guess what, you could leverage those big billboards and become that #1 real estate agent or lender or whatever role you're in if you're doing commercial in your city or the market that you're in. And so that's where paid advertising comes in, because with paid advertising, you can build systems and structures that can generate consistent leads and sales for you. You can build something that you can anticipate, hey, I'm spending X amount and I'm getting this return for this week. You start getting maybe 50 leads. I'll give you some crazy examples here of some of the success some folks are having. And now you know your closing rate, how you're calling people up, what's the automations you're running, your overall gameplay, and you're able to attack each week and invest that money and turn up that knob when you're ready, right? If you know that you're getting 50 leads for $300, well, now you can bump it to, guess what, $600 and double that. And in fact, typically as you continue to grow and you scale and you turn up the ads, your costs tends to come down lower and it compounds and you start seeing just crazy results. So we're not going to dive into the waters and get lost in all the details. We're just going to give you guys the systems and how you can implement this in your business. So we've been able to work with a lot of different real estate agents, some groups and individuals, as well as some lenders and commercial real estate agents. So we have one that's doing like a webinar. We're not going to spill everybody's secrets, but they're doing like a one-to-many format. And based off of that, they're spending around $400 and generating about 60 leads. So super effective. They have this call where they have a workshop. They teach people whatever it is that the topic you'd like and getting incredible results from that. Again, predictable, one-to-many, saving you time, being super effective in an incredible way. Another method was a group that were doing like guides. So you can actually leverage some sort of guide. Maybe it's in your city, a new community that's being built out, and you want to offer that for people. Maybe it's a seller guide, addressing different things in the market where you're like, hey, are you looking to sell, but XYZ has you scared, right? This guide's going to help you. And so now you're giving that transactional, and these are ways that people are winning and having huge success generating crazy leads. For somebody that's doing the guide format, over freaking 900 leads, probably averaging like $8.30 per lead. This one's a little bit of different game plan, a little bit more intricate. We're back to that point of the one-to-many. We're seeing the cost per leads at a closer under $6, $5, sometimes even $4. So these methods are incredible. They're true tried and getting great results. And so your most important step is going to be your offer. What is it that you're offering? I gave you guys some examples where maybe you're doing like a workshop, webinar, some sort of training, different info that you're trading off that you could do one-to-many. This could be live online. This could be in person. However you want to attack this is going to be some sort of offer and exchange. We're going to break down as far as how to communicate and target these people. But overall, you need that collateral. You have to decide what is it going to be, right? I talked about guides. What are some different guides? Maybe if you're in commercial real estate, it could be, so to speak, like a newsletter update. And don't call it a newsletter, get creative. And again, we're going to break down. But what is it that you're going to offer in exchange for your leads information? You don't just want to just run an ad and say, I see this a lot. Real estate agents will just boost a post and hope that people visit their profile. That's not going to work. You need a system, again, that you're going to be able to build off of, grow, scale, most importantly, compound, and see incredible success. So you always want to start off with answering who, what, result, and big objection. Now, I'm going to read it for you guys here. And this is a little formula that we use in our ads to cash challenge that typically helps everybody. It's super basic, strips it back. A lot of times everybody wants to get caught off in the avatar. My avatar is 37. They drink pumpkin spice latte and they drive this car and they wake up at this time and they work out at True Fusion. All those different things, while they're helpful in understanding and I think drilling down, it's not how you're going to film an ad. It's not how you're going to build your offer, and it's not how you're going to understand how to communicate to the individual. So it's important that you read it out like this, like I help who with what, right? So they can, the result. So what is it? The result that they can get, right? Without the big objection. So a few examples here. So real estate agent flow, right? I help growing families get pre-approved fast so they can win the home they love without losing to cash buyers. Right? So what is it that you're doing? You're helping families. Maybe you're helping a business person. So back to the point, if it is a 37 pumpkin spice latte business and that's, you want to go that niche route, then you use the different results and targeting on who, right? Then if we're talking about, let's say something lenders, right? I help sellers maximize their property value without leaving money on the table, right? Or I help you qualify for a home without the stress and the hassle about your credit, or do you qualify, or do you have enough for down payment? So different objections that might be holding people back. Those are the things that you kind of want to write out. And another one for our real estate commercial investors component, right? I help investors find high return commercial properties without getting stuck in risky deals. What's the objection? Risky deals, right? So it's super basic is how you're breaking down, again, the who, the what, the result, and the big objection. But from this framework is where you'll build that offer, having more clarity on when you make the ads, which we'll break down into a later step. But you have super clarity again of who you're targeting, what it is that you're offering, what's the result, and the big objection. This clarity is going to give you crazy momentum, crazy results. Which now this leads me to step number 2, which is your ad, right? You need to have a video ad creative. As I mentioned, a lot of times realtors will just like boost different posts and it could be cool. They're showing a home. And, you know, you can get views, you can get some type of like, some engagement, some people that reach out, but it's not predictable. It's not scalable. It's not something that's going to transform your business on a consistent basis. So when you're creating your ad, it's super important here that you don't get caught up. A lot of people try getting super creative and they miss the who. It's like you never even clarified who you're targeting because you're twerking in front of a car, you're dancing, you're trying to do something super crazy, super creative, and it needs to be super simple. A lot of you'd be surprised. A simple ad that says, "Hi, I'm so-and-so, and I help families find a new home without the hassle of XYZ." That is boring. It's noisy out there. You do want to cut through the noise, but it's important that you keep that clarity again of who, the what, the result, and the big objection, because people are going to relate to that, those different pain points, ensuring that, oh shoot, I need to look into this, right? And so the formula when creating the ad, now that you have those details and you know what your offer is, you're going to create something with a hook, and then you're going to have like an authority follow-up and a call to action. Call to action is super important. There's nothing worse than an ad or video that doesn't tell you what you should do next. Again, it's noisy out there. You need to tell people what to do. So your hook could be very simple if you're targeting certain communities, right? Here in Vegas, you want to say, are you looking to sell your home in Summerlin? And then you follow up with authority. Well, if I've helped so-and-so, or I helped 5 families able to sell their home just last month over whatever percentage, again, you want to sell it. So what is it with the authority? What is the positive, big objection, without having to be on the market for X amount of days? Whatever it is that's going on currently in your market that are objections that have people worried, you want to address those, but follow that up again with that authority, the positives, the results, and then a clear call to action. So if that's you and you're ready to take that next step, learn more. Again, it's not necessarily going to be learn more, but you want to get your seller checklist. You want to get your seller guide. Then click the link below. I'm going to get that to you, whatever it is that's going to follow up. Don't be super flashy. Don't try and, again, reinvent the wheel. Be super specific. Be just literal, like you're talking to them in person, and you'll see how far that goes. Okay, now step number 3 is going to be super important, which is your funnel. So your offer and your funnel, in that world, they go together because you're offering them, and then you need to understand how you're driving them. You don't just want to, as I said, boost a post and then just send them to your profile. when it doesn't align, right? You telling somebody you're giving them something and then they just click to go to view your profile and it's like, oh, I'll message them, hey, where do I get this? A lot of people aren't going to do that. But again, especially in this day and age right now, the way the market is when it comes to advertising, it's noisy out there. It's just not, you need to make sure you have that funnel. Don't drive people just to your website, to your homepage, to get lost, to just wonder. So it's important that you create a actual landing page. So this is one of those instances where you want to create that something that aligns with your offer, that gives them more detail, builds more trust. You have reviews, you have pictures, you have results about you. Let that be that sales page, does the heavy lifting for you. You can even have a video of you where now you're breaking down, explaining more. We call those VSLs. So you can look into something like that. And overall, they enter their information. And then from there, again, the funnel, following the different steps of what happens. They sign up, they receive an automatic email. Maybe if it's a home offer, it's an automatic email, but you're not sending a generic offer. So you let them know, hey, thanks for signing up. We've gotten started. Hey, in the meantime, we need additional info. Or in the meantime, this is what you can expect, right? And that's where you simply, again, you're walking the individual through this journey and you're not just driving them down to some page and they're hoping for the best, but walk them through those different steps. Consider automations, get a CRM system. I know you guys with your brokerages, they set you guys up with cool CRM systems, but a lot of those just don't connect with the true world tools of when you're running ads. They're like standalone systems. So if you want to manually input them, whatever, you go that route. But it's important. I'd recommend getting yourself a CRM or some type of email marketing where you can set up automations, right? They get the guide and now you walk them through the steps of those guides so that they book a call, get on a phone with you. Because if you're getting 50 leads a week or 50 leads a day, that's unrealistic for you to sit there unless you're incredible and you got your team and you guys are calling these people. More power to you to go that route. The more work you do, the better results you're going to get. But you can leverage a lot of incredible automation that's going to help you a part of that funnel, driving these individuals to that action that you desire, which is, again, getting them on the phone. And so step number 4 is now you actually have to run the ad. And again, I can't stress enough, boosting is not running an ad. So it's super easy because you hit that blue button, but you might as well go buy some shoes. Go spend that on something. Go to a steakhouse, go get a bottle, have some drinks, because your money's going to go to waste. Again, eyes on your videos don't equal leads. It does not equal sales. Clicks don't equal leads and sales. It's important that you set up a proper lead type generation campaign. And we're using leads in the systems because for real estate, that's where it makes more sense. It's not like you're selling a product, so you're not going to do a sales campaign. But set up, again, your funnel, your landing page, and go on Meta and run an ads manager, an actual leads campaign. You guys are killers. You guys always do a lot of research. So if you need to hop on, figure out how to run it yourself, then you go that route. If you need to hire somebody, I always recommend that, right? Invest in someone that's a professional. You're going to get the results. If I told half of you that you can get 50 leads a week, qualified leads, you'd be like, how much? Where do I start, right? So super important that you just make that investment. You build that system and you're going to be able to get the return from it. You're going to be like, look, I'm getting about 20 calls a month. I'm spending X amount. Okay, this is worth it because nothing else is doing that. If you can post 50 videos a day, you're not going to get that type of volume. Ads is the way to go. So make sure that you run a proper ads campaign. And when you do, Meta even has instant forms where you can get people to opt in within Meta, meaning Instagram and Facebook. So they're not having to go to a landing page. So there's different ways and incredible tools that you can leverage there. So make sure that you go that route of running proper ads and ads manager. And so that's it. That's how you build the system. Remember, you're starting off with your offer. Next, answering those questions, developing the who, the what, the result, big objection. You now can record that video ad, right? Being able to be strong with that hook, the authority follow-up, and your call to action. And then your third most important part is your funnel. Where are you sending them? Not just sending them to your landing page or to your profile, not landing page, to your homepage. You send them to a landing page that walks them through, explains more, builds more trust, sells more, and gets them to opt in. And then from there, you want to leverage automations. Take advantage of that. I know you think you're going to want to manage, but when you're getting 50 leads, it takes a lot. And you'd be surprised with automation. A lot of our realtors literally get booked calls just on automation on the back end on its own while they're focused working on those hotter leads. Meanwhile, the automation's doing the hard, heavy lifting for you, helping out your sales team, and a CRM is going to just work wonders for you there. And then lastly, don't boost. Don't boost. Make sure you run that proper campaign, set something up, make that investment. It's going to change your life. Again, you get a system that's predictable, that's consistent, that you not only build upon, but it compounds. A lot of times people think like, well, you have to pay to play. Yeah, you do, but the reality is it's not like you're having to pay in the sense that it's going to waste, because you're building a system. There's consistency and it compounds. It only gets better. Where if you're doing organic, it's unpredictable. You're investing a lot. It's not for sure what you're going to get. Where in this end, you'll be able to create something that's a lot more predictable. So I want to just stress that. And that's why I kind of pause, because I'm like, how can I communicate that? But a lot of people miss that point, that it compounds. It literally only gets better. Your cost per leads will get lesser and lesser as you maximize and you find different leaks in your funnel, different things that you can do better. So all of that to say, go out there and crush it. Build the system, do what you have to do. The blueprints, we created some blueprints for all different industries, but they're down below. So make sure that you click that link. We also do live workshops on a monthly basis. So make sure that you sign up and that you stay tuned for the upcoming one. And if you guys want to connect or want to learn more and see, hey, how we can work together, how we can do something for you and your business, you can always welcome to book a discovery call. But until next time, my friends, make sure you guys connect with us on social, on Instagram at Neon Tiger Media, and on TikTok while that's still around. It continues around. And subscribe, like the video if this was great value, you know what I mean? Hit that button, leave a comment, let me know where you're watching from. Let's connect, let's engage, let's get you guys building this system and just crushing it. And until next time, my friends, don't get lost in the sauce.